Today on our 2017 Kia Niro, we're going to be taking a look at showing you how to install the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13329. This is what our hitch looks like when it's installed. As you can see, the cross tube is completely hidden behind the bumper fascia. The only thing you can see is the receiver tube. This is going to be a Class 3. It's going to be 2" by 2". You can see it has a nice reinforced collar to give you a little extra stability on your receiver tube. However, it's not going to change the weight capacity. Your hitch pinhole, which is right here, it's going to be 5/8 inch in diameter. If you don't have one of those, you can find one on our website. You can see it's going to have rolled steel style safety chain loops. It's going to give you plenty of room for different size safety chain hooks. It's going to have a nice black powder coat finish to help resist any rust or corrosion. This hitch is going to have a 525-pound max tongue weight, which is a downward pressure on the inside of the receiver tube. It's going to have a 3,500-pound max trailer weight, which is a trailer plus a load included. I do recommend checking the owner's manual of your Kia to make sure the vehicle can withstand that amount of weight, and you're going to want to go with the lowest number between the vehicle and the hitch. Now, as far as the installation goes, it is a very simple installation. I do recommend getting an extra set of hands to help raise the hitch into place until you get a couple of bolts in. And there is a little bit of trimming required. Now let's give you a few measurements to help you when deciding on any hitch mounted accessories you may need, such as a bike rack, ball mount, or cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pinhole to the outermost part of the bumper will be about 5 inches. From the ground to the top innermost part of the receiver tube will be about 12 inches. Now let's show you how to get this installed. To start our installation, we're going to skip ahead a few steps in our installation. It's going to make it a little bit easier on us. You're going to have a panel right over here on your driver's side that we're going to have to remove, but we're going to have to trim it. If you look up right here, this part that covers the hitch is what we're going to have to cut off. So while it's up there, we're going to mark it so we can cut as least amount off as possible. Take a paint marker, any light colored marker you have, and we're just going to mark it right along our frame rail. And I'm actually just going to go straight off. Make a straight line there. We'll take off these two plastic nuts on the bottom here. I'm going to use a trim panel tool. We're going to have some push pins that we're going to have to remove. I'll just pull out the center and the whole thing will come out. Just like that. Next, we're going to have a rubber plug here. We're going to remove that. And you're going to have one of these on both sides. We're going to remove the other one in a later step. Next, we want to take a safety strap. Now you can hang it from anywhere. I like to go from the springs because they're easily accessible. You want to go underneath your exhaust pipe. Like that. And next what we're going to do is we're actually going to lower our exhaust. We're going to have 3 exhaust hangers. You have one here on the passenger side. You have one on the driver's side, and you're going to have one right here in the center. Next, we want to take a little bit of lubricant. We're going to spray our exhaust hangers. We're going to do that with all 3 of them. We're going to take a pry bar, and we're going to pry that rubber hanger off. Next, we're going to remove this second plug on our passenger side. Next, you're going to need your small carriage bolt, spacer block, and your pull wire. We're going to put our spacer block on our carriage bolt, and we're going to thread our carriage bolt onto the spring end of our pull wire. We're going to do a reverse pull with the wire. So we're going to go right through this hole where we took the plug out. First, we're going to put in our bolt. Then we're going to feed in our spacer block. Just going to pull it back out like that. And we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Next, with an extra set of hands, we'll raise our hitch into position. We're going to feed our pull wire through the appropriate hole in the hitch. Remove our pull wire. Then we're going to put a flange nut on our bolt. We'll put one in on each side, hold our hitch in place while we put in our remaining hardware. Next, we're going to take our hex bolt, conical tooth washer. You want to make sure that the teeth are facing towards the hitch. They're going to go right in the side of the frame into existing weld nuts. We're going to have 2 of those on each side. Next, I'm going to tighten my hardware using an 11/16 socket. What I found out is this bolt is a little bit hard to get a wrench onto because of the edge of this panel. So we're going to go ahead and remove this panel to make it a little bit easier. And it's going to have 3 pushpin fasteners just like the driver's side. And you're going to have one plastic nut right up here at the top. We're going to remove this panel. out of the way for a second. Next, we're going to torque all of our hardware to the specifications in the instructions. We're going to repeat that process for all remaining hardware. Now, before we put our exhaust back up, this metal guard right here is going to have to come off because it's not going to fit back behind the hitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 12mm socket. You're going to have 2 bolts on each side. We need to remove them. Next, we're going to take some lubricant. We're going to put our exhaust back up. It's a good idea to go ahead and spray your hangers again and make them slide on a little bit easier. We'll just take our safety strap, tighten it up like that. Slide our hangers into place. Once you have those in, you can remove your safety strap. Now we're going to reinstall our panel on our passenger side here. And reinstall our pushpin fasteners here. And keep in mind this is on the passenger side. We still have to trim the driver's side. You notice what I did is I moved my line over because my hitch rolls this way on my frame. This is actually going to be installed like this. My hitch comes across and then rolls up like this. So I want to make sure that I'm cutting wide enough so it's not pushing against my hitch. So this angle here, so we're going to cut it on the inside. So I'm going to go straight across. Just a razor blade knife will work. Once you get it cut off, I'm going to take my razor blade, if you didn't use one. I'm just going to trim the edges to knock off those burrs. Clean it up just a little bit. Next, we can go ahead and reinstall our panel. Looks like we might have to trim this edge just a little bit. It's hitting the inside of our hitch, or the outside of our hitch. And we will not be putting these back in because we cut that side off. And that'll do it for a look at an installation on the CURT Class 3 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C13329 on our 2017 Kia Niro.